So I want to go into your next dreams that you had. Were they both this past week?
So the first one, the first rapture, right? We believe is a rapture because again, I'm still new to this whole Christianity thing. So,
Mm.
whatever you tell me, whatever my friends tell me, I kind of like take it in and then I come up with my own conclusion, or I guess, or at least analyze it like that. So anybody feel free to put in their own, you know,
Yeah.
suggestion. But
Yeah.
the first dream I would say was last week, and then the second dream was this week. So yeah, kind of like back to back. I would say like 1 week apart.
Yeah.
The first dream, um, it was the end of the world again. People are running around. It looks like chaos. People are screaming. People are picking up their babies and just running. But I know that people are just disappearing from thin air. Like I see somebody and poofs, it disappear into the air. And all I see is this huge black shadows, this huge black clouds. But those clouds, those shadows are not up in the sky. I mean, there's some in the sky too. They're also like, like tree level, like our level, like you can actually see them like eye level, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that those shadows were not good news at all. And those shadows were actually making the people disappear.
Yeah.
And I remember we were being so, John is in this dream again, and we're scared, but we have also this sense of urgency. Like there's stuff that we need to do before we get to point B. We're in point A, we're trying to get to point B, but there's something that we must do. So we get in the car, we start driving, and we get to this like building. It kind of looks like a hotel because it has an elevator. I don't know what we meet with this group of people. I get some stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to gather. I still don't know. And I see my sister. And my sister, she's having a conversation with me, and I tell her, hey, we have to all go. We have to all get in the car and leave.
Hmm.
She's just like, no, why? And I said, look, the world is ending. There's fire, there's dark clouds, there's people disappearing, there's thunderstorms, it's chaos. We have to go. It's the end of the world. And she's like, there's nothing like that happening. You're crazy. There's nothing going on. I'm fine. So she proceeds to leave. She grabs a joint. She starts smoking her weed, and John and we get into the elevator, and it's an elevator that has like a window so you can kind of see outside from the elevator. And we see her just smoking the joint and like kind of enjoying herself, like looking into the sky while she's smoking. And I literally hear in my head, she loves the things of this world.
Mm.
Like exactly just like that. I'm not even switching the word in or the sentence.
Yeah.
She loves the things of this world. And I felt nothing else in my heart but like sadness, like this deep sadness. Like I almost wanted to get depressed just even thinking about it. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Yeah.
And but I knew we had to get to point B, so we were still in that whole state of like being urgent. So we all get in the car. It's a group of people, John and I. We start driving, and as we're driving, I still see all these people disappearing, the black shadows, and then at the end of the road, we see this huge egg, like it's probably over 10 feet tall. Even more. I would say like 20 feet tall,
Hmm.
huge black egg. And inside that egg, there's thousands of people. Thousands of people. It's not millions of people, just 1,000 of people, but it's still a lot, you
Yeah.
know?
And you said the egg is like dark. It's like not good.
It's a dark egg, yeah.
Mhm.
And so we see the egg and everybody inside us is telling, come on, hurry up, we gotta go. So
Oh.
John and I get out of the car, we go inside the egg closes and it shoots up the sky, and that's the end of that dream.
Okay, so maybe the egg was the good way out and the black clouds were like the darkness.
Yeah, cause also, yeah, cause if you hear it just from like verbally, it may sound like it's not good because it's a black egg,
Right.
but it's also the way I felt inside that dream that I think we have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, you
you know?
felt led to get into the egg.
Exactly. It felt right. It
Yeah.
felt right. Yet the clouds that were around and the whole chaos, I knew it was something demonic. I just knew it
Yes.
because it was something unnatural and people were just disappearing. But yet those people didn't know, didn't understand what was going on. They couldn't understand. And
Yeah.
it's almost like me and the people that were in the car and in the egg were the only people that knew what was really going down.
Yeah, yeah, and the way we were talking about this last night, it's like because you have the Holy Spirit, you have this spiritual sight, like just like your sister hadn't yet accepted the Holy Spirit, so she couldn't see what was happening in the spirit world and like all this chaos happening around. She's just smoking her weed, enjoying herself in the dream. But because you have the Holy Spirit, you can see that these like this spiritual war that's going on. Um, and then what was so crazy to me, Carol, and the reason I felt so urgent to have you on today is because the moment I got back into my house after you sharing this dream with me last night, I get on TikTok, and one of the first TikToks that I scroll past is this girl, like hysterically crying, saying she just had a rapture dream and that these black clouds were taking people that weren't good black clouds. And it was exactly what you explained. And it just led me to thinking about, and of course, I want to get to your second dream, but it just led me to thinking about all this alien stuff going on and how so many Christians believe that this could be a part of the deception before the rapture. I don't fully understand it either. Like I haven't like I can read it, but I'm still it takes revelation from God to fully get it and to get it at deeper levels regardless of how many times I read it. So I'm still trying to understand it all. Um but I did highlight some verses here. Do you want to tell your first or your second dream before we go into that though?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that was the first, and the second was like a week later, or maybe even less, like 5 days later. And it's the same theme. There's apocalypse, chaos, but this time it was kind of like out of nowhere, like all of a sudden. The first dream, when I was in the dream, everything was already happening. This one, everything was fine, everything was quiet. We were all inside a room, and next thing we see is something land. So something falls. There's a big explosion, and then people start screaming and running. So as soon as we hear this explosion, we we run towards the window, and then we see these black clouds again. But this time there was like black clouds, but it also looked like, I don't know how to explain it, but like black lines connecting from like the ground up to the sky, So I don't know if that was like a way of like transportation.
Mm,
Um or just like I can't really understand, but it was nothing good.
yeah.
Because people start grabbing again their kids. I see literally this guy, this random guy, I don't even know who that is, grabs his kid from the restaurant. They start running outside. People are trying to get in the cars, but the cars are not working.
Mm,
Some people do can drive their car, but the cars are crashing. So immediately the whole society just turns upside down. So again, I get this sense of urgency that we have to go, we have to leave the room. And next thing I see is a bunch of lights like flying everywhere. But the lights were like green and gold, green and gold. And I'm like, what is that? Like, we have a mixture of things, because there's like black clouds and then there's black lines, but there's also this like lights just going around like crazy. So we get out of that building, that room, wherever we are in, and one of those lights approaches me, and it's a green light. It's so green and it has like little gold, right? But I am not afraid of this light.
mm,
Like, besides everything else that's happening, this is the only thing that was making me feel somewhat comfortable,
mm,
right? So out of that light, this man comes out, this light. And this man is wearing this whole armor from like top to bottom. This armor that looked like it was copper,
mhm,
copper with like little gold. and the man was beautiful. He had like perfect skin.
Yeah.
He had blonde hair, and he just stood out, because of everything else that's happened in this dream. Then you see this being of light with the green and the gold and the full armor that he's wearing. And he doesn't say anything. He just kind of tells me, like, what's the word called? Telepathically? Tele-
Telepathically. Yeah.
he tells me we have to go.
Mhm.
We got to get on and we have to leave right now because the world is ending. And
Wow.
that's that dream.